I'm Chris Ferzoco with the Ferzoco Group here at the Jersey Shore, Cape May, Atlantic County, running all the way from Ocean City primarily down to Cape May and inland. And we get a lot of phone calls from folks, a lot of people getting into flipping, they're getting into investment properties. So they're looking for those fixer-uppers. And today we're going to talk about what to look for and what to maybe watch out for when looking to purchase a fixer-upper.
What are the benefits of buying a fixer-upper out here on the shore?
Yeah, so one is price point. You really have the situation where we are seeing prices here in our area here at the shore really increasing dramatically, and you hear people say, gosh, we're just getting priced out now, and nobody can get into the market if at a young age or what have you. So, so you run into a situation where sometimes people can just feel like they're getting priced out. So the benefit of buying a fixer-upper is you can obviously get in at a lower price point. You can actually make the home into what you want it to be. And you can really kind of work almost from a blank canvas that way. And really kind of at the end of the day, have a project that is really yours and not something that was just created for you that you purchased. So depending on what you want to get out of it. I mean, if you're someone that likes that and you're into like that hands-on and creating something out of nothing, then it could be a great opportunity for you as well.
What are the key considerations for choosing the right fixer-upper property?
Yeah. So for the right fixer-upper, I would say the key is going to be, depending on if you're going to look to hold it and rent it, if you're going to look to flip it. I mean, it's always about location in real estate. So that's going to be really important. Like what's the area like for the property that I'm looking to buy? You really want to know what's going on in the area surrounding it. So if it's going to be resale, you don't want to get a property that you're going to start making. It's going to be that diamond, but it's going to be in an area that's just a lot of other homes, unless you're thinking you're going to work through a neighborhood and fix them all up and create a whole new higher level price point in a given neighborhood. You have to just be cautious of the fact of what's around it. Is the area going to support the value that I want to get out of this home from my time and my effort and the money that I'm going to put into that with these repairs? At the same time, if it's going to be rent, is it a rentable area? Is it an area where you're seeing a lot of people rent through? At the shore, we do have a lot of Airbnb now. We have a lot of the short-term rentals. So if you're looking to do that and you can find something that's on the shores, that's a great investment and a great opportunity.
What are common renovation projects that that add value to something like a fixer-upper property? Like what should be things that I should be tackling first if I was to buy one?
Well, first and foremost, I think through your inspections, and most of the time when you're buying a property like that, you're not buying it with like, oh, you're going to look at your inspections and you're going to have the seller do something. You know you're buying what you're buying. You want it. What I would say is that you want to make sure you're going to do those inspections first anyways, because you just want to know the extent. You don't want to get into something you think you're doing a fixer-upper and you're like, okay, I got to do a new roof and I'm going to gut it out and I'm going to do kitchens and baths, throw down some flooring and paint, and I'm going to walk out of here. And then all of a sudden you purchase a property and all of a sudden you got structural issues. And so that becomes a problem. So I would say that if you're doing the fixer-upper, the first thing you want to look at is definitely look at the structure. That's going to be the key to it all, right? Foundation and everything is the key. So you just want to make sure that you check out the foundation first. Once you do that with the DIY stuff, if you're doing this yourself, then you're really going to want to start to get into making, the kitchens, the bathrooms. Those are going to be key. Some cases you might have a smaller house, can I add another bathroom? So people are really looking for obviously 2 or more bathrooms anymore, and that's 2 full bathrooms or more. So you just want to make sure that is there enough room? Can I create a space? And really get a good footprint of what you want to design out of the property. And then I would certainly, as you're going through all that, you want to make sure that the roof is going to be tightened up, because you're doing all this work. You don't want a roof that's old and leaking, and then all of a sudden all the work you've done is gone for naught. So, yeah.
Because inspection is so important, where could I find an inspector?
Sure. Well, I mean, you could always reach out to us. We have a host of all sorts of vendors, whether it be a home inspector, whether it be termite inspections, or whether it be roof inspections, window siding, etc. We have people that we can supply for you their contact information, and they'll go ahead and they'll do they'll get you the information that you need. They're all licensed, they're all insured, they're all professionals in their own right, in their own work. So yeah, we have all of those people that we can supply, top to bottom.
And in that similar line, if I find a fixer-upper and it's looking like, okay, I think I can make the numbers work as long as I have, some money up front. How could I finance the purchase of that?
Well, again, that's really going to depend on the lender. Like some of the lenders that we use, I mean, they have some great programs where you can wrap into the mortgage actually the expense of doing the work. So what they'll do is they'll come out and they'll appraise the property based upon what you're going to make it, and then they loan you the money based upon that projection. Okay, so there's a lot, there's hard money out there too, but there's a lot of different financing that's going to be out there. So you just have to find what's going to be comfortable for you and what's going to work best, and go from there.
As far as the renovations go that I want to do, how can I make sure that they're following the local codes and regulations?
Well, the good thing is that you always have to go for permits. So you definitely always want to make sure you get your permits, and so they're going to come out and they're going to inspect the work that's being done. And I would say almost most importantly is you want to try to do your best to hire someone that's local. One, it is helping out the local community, but they tend to know who the inspectors are. They also tend to know what the county and what the community is looking for. So they're going to make sure that it's done right. Sometimes, unfortunately, you get some people that are from out of the area and they're working in their minds to code to where they're from, and it's not necessarily always the same.
So that's obviously, it's hard work. What are the potential returns on investment for renovating a property out here?
Endless. I mean, it's going to depend on the property. It's going to depend on so many factors. The location, what you put into the property is really going to determine what the outcome, what the value of it is going to be. The town is going to also determine that as well, what's in and around the community. So to really just try to put like a singular value on it, it would be very difficult to do that. Yeah.
That makes sense. But lastly, since you're a real estate agent, have you seen fixer-uppers go bad, and have you seen them go well? And like, what's your experience being on that side?
Well, when you say go bad, you mean just from the simply like just not working out value-wise?
I mean, like they had this idea in mind, and then they really didn't have the gumption to finish it all.
Sure. Well, yes, and I have seen that happen. And normally, what happens is they either bite off too much of what they can do on their own. So again, they start getting into these projects that they're going to do the work, and it just ends up being too much. So again, then they got to go out and start hiring these contractors. But the issue is, some of these contractors are booked so far out because of the way the market is, because so many people are doing these jobs. But not only that, because of the way the real estate market's been going over the last few years, a lot of people have decided, well, I'm going to put thousands of dollars into my current home versus just putting it for sale and buying something else. So a lot of these contractors that we have here locally are busy, and they are months to almost a year plus out. Wow. So what can happen is people get antsy. They bought this investment property with the idea, I'm going to do the work. I can't do the work. It's over my head. Now I need to hire somebody, but everyone that is reputable is booked far out. Now they start going and they start finding people that maybe aren't insured or maybe don't really know much about that, but they're like, yes, I can do it, because they just want work. And now all of a sudden you're stuck as a homeowner with someone that's not doing good work. They're not doing good quality work. It's costing you a lot of money, and you're just falling further behind. And when you have a loan on a property that you have to keep paying for, that's not being built, it's not being completed, that's just a bad investment. Mm-hmm. So you have to be able to rent it, you have to be able to sell it, and it's got to happen within a timely manner. So yeah, I've seen that happen. I mean, I've seen people, it just seems like it's almost like quicksand. They buy the home, they can do it themselves. All of a sudden they can't do it themselves. The problem or the scope of the job is a lot bigger than they thought once they start opening things up. They didn't budget for that. And now they have to try to find somebody to do the work. They don't have the budget to pay the people. So they've got to get kind of creative with the people that they're hiring. And that's when it just gets really, really bad. So ultimately what happens is somebody else rolls in at that point in time and they buy it. They have the funds, they have the capital, and they fix it up and do really well with it. So, but I've seen some just some home runs that people just crush it with, and that's always fun to watch. Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, it's an investment, so there's some risk, and so would you? I mean, it seems like you just need to be smart and aware of the kind of the pieces of the puzzle that go into making, that go into flipping a house like that.
Yeah. And I think that we all try to budget, and we all try to be smart, and we all try to be, we're going to do A, B, C. And that's all well and good, but you better have a reserve fund that's, because you're going over budget. It's just a matter of how far am I going to go over budget. Mm-hmm. And so that's just something to just really be aware of getting into it. The great thing about where we are here is that more often than not, you'd probably have an opportunity to be able to rent the property, whether it be short-term rentals, Airbnb, or putting in someone that's year-round. There's a lot of great opportunity for that here. So if you were to get stuck in a situation where you weren't able to just get it to a certain point where you could sell it or what have you, you could probably hold on to it long-term and start making back some of that money through rental income and then sell it down the road. That's always an option, and you could certainly probably do that. Maybe you don't do it to the scale that you thought you were going to be able to do it budget-wise, so you have to scale back certain parts, which makes it more like a rental property versus then just a straight flip. That might just be a little longer play, if you will.
Okay, so let's say I've looked online, I've analyzed certain things. Maybe I've gone to, I've checked out a couple properties in person, mm-hmm. and now, I really want to get closer to the process, and I feel confident in my ability to flip a house. I've evaluated the risks for myself. Where should I go? Who should I contact in order to get the deal done?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So naturally, I would contact the Ferzoco group first and foremost, right? Get a hold of Joe and I. We can connect you, obviously with a lender of ours if that's someone that you need for the process. If not, that's fine too. I mean, if you might have your own funding, or if you might have cash or what have you, that's fine. But we'll get you set up. We'll take care of all the contract, and we'll take care of all the facilitation of the file, getting you with the title companies, the inspectors, and everyone else along the way that you're going to need in order to get the job complete in a timely manner, so that you can get started on your project. At the same time, if there's somebody that you might need to help you with the project that you didn't realize that you needed, or you just like, okay, I'm going to need an electrician, we have those people. And they've done a lot of work for us over the years, and they're there for us and our clients all the time. So if you need someone, obviously you can just reach out to us, contact us, we can connect you with one of those vendors. But we are essentially a one-stop shop for you. Everything that you need to purchase the project, fix the project, fund the project, and then sell the project, we're here for you, and we can make that happen. So when it comes to fixer-uppers, a few things: just always be cautious, be smart, do your research, check out, the property itself. Even though you're stepping into a project, just make sure you're checking it out for the key factors, because once you start an investment in a project like that on a flipper, there's really not a whole lot of ways to turn back once you get started. And once you start peeling things apart to create that beautiful home that you then want to sell, there could be some things that you discover that were unseen that could really cause some problems. So just always be cautious, budget, be smart with your budget. Know you're probably going to go over budget, so have some reserve funds there. And and don't do anything that's going to probably be over your head if you're going to try doing a lot of these things yourself. Make sure that you have someone that can connect you with a professional like we can, to make sure that there's somebody can bail you out if that's what you need.